distinguished principal officers of the Senate, particularly the newly nominated and inaugurated principal officers, congratulations. I am Senator Dickett Plum. I represent all the people of Plateau Central, both the good and the bad. I stand in for them. I appreciate the opportunity given to me to raise a motion on the insecurity in Plateau and probably other extended part of our dear country. Before my presentation, I have my colleagues who desire to join me to co-sponsor this motion. And I'm sure if my motion is accepted, they will be provided an opportunity to contribute their quota. My President of the Senate, distinguished colleagues, the general insecurity and continued attacks on communities in Plateau State, a state known for its hospitality, peace, tourism, and accommodation, is worthy of note. Also worthy of note is that the past decade has been a recurrent crisis across the state, especially in rural areas where insecurity has become a major issue that any administration in the state has to contend with. There is no respite. The cycle of killings and kidnappings have continued unabated, despite all efforts by successive administration at the state, the federal, and all levels of government to tame the ugly trend. We are aware, distinguished senators, that as a result of this, many lives have been lost and properties destroyed, affecting the livelihood of innocent people of the central zone and Plateau at large. The economy of the affected parts of the state, particularly Plateau North and Central, is lying prostrate, occasioned by incessant attacks, coupled with the number of people being killed in a barbaric acts. Furthermore, the Senate needs to note that the marauders behind the attacks, who can be classified as terrorists because of the clandestine nature of their operation in recent times, have stepped up their nefarious activities in Plateau communities. The attack, which started some time ago in Plateau North, precisely Bassa, Barkin Ladi, Jos North, Riom, local government areas of the state, has spread to the central part of Plateau, which is the umbilical cord of the state, especially Bokos and Mangu local government areas. It is good I wish that Senate should note that in Mangu and Bokos within the past months, no fewer than 300 people have been brutally murdered by these terrorists. Plateau North in particular has lost count of casualties because in recent times there is no day that one or two communities will not be under attack by these bad elements. We need to be informed that the attacks on the communities in Mangu local government at recent time have continued unabated from April 2023 to date, as many villages and communities witness these ugly incidents where people are killed in large numbers, farms mauled for no reason, and houses set ablaze and destroyed. And at this period, where most of the people of the central zone are agrarian farmers, they can no longer go to their farms. And this is a threat to food security in our country. And this is an area where Irish potatoes is produced. And I wonder what it will be. I also need to let us be informed that as a result of these frequent attacks, many people have been forced to flee their homes. Either their houses are burned down or they fled for fear of further attacks. And as a result, there is serious humanitarian crisis. The brotherly relationship amongst my people who used to live in peace have actually been obstructed. It is also need for us to observe that many of our secondary school students in affected areas could not participate in the just concluded WAEC examination. Both students in secondary and primary school in these areas are presently hibernating in IDP camps, and it's not good for us as a country. Also, there is a need for us to observe, it will be observed too, that these continued incessant attacks on the Plateau and other parts, on the central and other parts of Plateau State are taking toll on the economy, while agriculture is at a period which may result into food crisis if urgent steps are not taken. My wish.
Senator Plan, there is a point of order.
I'm very grateful for the opportunity of extension of time to enable me to continue with my motion. It will also be observed that these continued and incessant attacks on the Plateau Central and other parts of Plateau State are taking toll on the economy, while agriculture is at its ebb, which might result into food crisis if urgent steps are not taken to cope the ugly trend. Colleagues, my recommendations. I would wish, as a people, I would wish to commend the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for the appointment of youth service chiefs in line with the yearnings of Nigerians and his readiness to tackle the insecurity in different parts of the country. For us, as people representatives, this appointment went well with us and has...
Just continue with your motion. Don't expatiate.
Chiefs to carry out on the spot assessment of insecurity in troubled parts, to give our people a sense of belonging, and also to serve as impetus for the military operations in these affected local government areas. I also wish to urge that the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, to cushion the hardship of the IDPs by providing them with basic amenities, especially building materials to rebuild their homes. And also wish to urge that the Chief of Defense Staff to, as a matter of urgency, establish more joint security posts in strategic locations in the state. And my colleagues, the fifth one that is not there, if permitted, is...
Not permitted. Have you moved your...
Ndume, representing Borno South. Distinguished colleagues, I stand here to support the motion ably moved And in addition to that, Mr. President and distinguished colleagues, I want to crave your indulgence to take this matter very seriously. The mover of the motion, according to the heading, says, and I just want to read. It says, call on the federal government to address the general insecurity and incessant attacks on Plateau. It is not only on Plateau. Out of the 109 of us here, I believe 80 to 90% will have a story to tell about the issue of security. Even today, last week in my constituency, Boko Haram struck again and then killed 8 people. In my own local government, they attacked and killed over 40 people. Farmers are no longer going to their farms. In Kebbi State, a senator, this one of our colleagues, mentioned it, that his senatorial district is under attack by the bandits. There is general insecurity everywhere. And this time around, distinguished colleagues, even if it is only this that we'll achieve in the 10th Senate, I think it's worth our time. We have extended the time to discuss this matter, and it should not be restricted only to Plateau. Because just Plateau, as the seconder stood up to second the motion, he has a similar problem in his senatorial district. So I'm urging our colleagues, now that we have the new service chiefs in place and they are coming before us, one of the things that we should do is to get commitment from the new service chiefs as to how, when, and what do they need in order to. There is no country that will progress with insecurity that we have at the level. Plateau State particularly is known for its tourism, peace, and where most people want to go and even live. But now it's not the same. The same thing with Kaduna, the same thing with Lagos. Bauchi, you see, if I start mentioning everybody, Southeast is worst. So it's not a matter of glaring over an issue now. No, this is the Senate. Even if we are going to discuss this matter for 1 month, that is adjourning and then continuing, I think it's worth it. So I'm suggesting this is not part of the amendment, because it's this amendment thing and all that motion. The service chiefs are coming. Let's extract commitment from them. I have been the chairman of Army. I know a lot. We have to do it, or we have to get them to do it. I therefore support this motion, but we should not stop there. This issue of security is something that the Senate should look and even, in fact, think outside the box, so that we address it and make it one of our achievements at the end of this session.
Thank you.